Today, organic confers a sense of trustworthiness in the brand. I think when you are in a supermarket and you see a product that says that it's organic, it elicits a little bit of an emotional reaction among consumers that it's potentially better, that it's environmentally sustainable, and that, as I said over the years when I was at Whole Foods, if you buy something organic, you're standing under the halo of health and wellness. And the possibility of standing under that halo is really, really attractive to a lot of people globally today. Years ago, when I first started at Whole Foods, the term organic had not yet been defined by the FDA. And then FDA created certain standards and requirements for organic. And now there are global regulations for companies to follow in order to be able to call their product organic. And so it's changed because it's become more profitable. 20 years ago, organic was a much smaller segment of the industry, but as it's become more successful, it's attracted the attention of larger companies, and larger companies are buying smaller companies in order to enjoy the profitability that the organic companies create. The landscape for organic foods does continue to change, and you're seeing more change today around proteins with organic beef, organic pork, organic chicken, and farm-raised organic fish. You also have more farmers and more processors dedicating more resources to the production and the packaging and the distribution of organic food. It really has become a global enterprise, a global industry, and consequently you've got more and more acres of land under organic agriculture, and I think that's to the good because it's environmentally sustainable. There are variations in organic standards and what defines organic country to country. I've done some product work in Australia and in South Africa, some in throughout Europe. Each country has the right under its own sovereign rules to define what's organic. There's more and more standardization around what is organic, but in some countries there are fewer organic ingredients to be used for making product. For example, Australia right now is an emerging organic market. They've got a pretty good market for organic proteins, pork, beef, chicken. But in terms of grains and fruits and vegetables, they don't have quite the infrastructure yet growing organic product. They want to do everything in country, but it's hard for them because they don't have that many farmers providing the ingredients. It changes from country to country. Also, the Northern Europeans are really strict around what they want for organic. And there's, of course, the prohibition for anything genetically engineered in Europe, which in a sense ought to be a moot point because organic, by definition, excludes anything that's genetically engineered as a GMO. There's a romantic association with organic today, that small family farms are where all the organic foods are coming from. And there are thousands of small family farms around the world with people creating organic product, whether it's tomatoes or corn or apples. And then you have smaller organic producers making cookies and tortillas and frozen entrees. But the goal is, I think the original goal for the organic movement was to create products that were ultimately sustainable and environmentally agreeable. I think embedded in that goal was the idea of the family farmer, the guy waking up in the morning in Wisconsin and going out and milking his cows by hand. That doesn't happen. It's all mechanized because that's where you achieve the efficiencies. Without the efficiencies, there's no profitability and people can't make a living. I don't know what the upside, the ceiling is going to be on this. It might be, I mean, there's no way that anybody can tell us what ultimately is going to be organic in the food chain. Could McDonald's be organic floor to ceiling? I kind of doubt it. I just think there's not, for example, that much organic beef on the planet right now. My beef supplier in Australia, who raises organic cattle, can't even begin to scratch the surface of McDonald's needs. So the answer is, I don't know. I don't know that it can be predicted, but I can say that it's growing globally. More and more industries are converting to organic, and there's an increasing awareness around sustainability and environmental stewardship. In the conventional realm, there are a lot of really, really big companies. There are now an increasing number of large organic companies. What I see in the marketplace is a lot more creativity and new product ideas being generated in the organic space as opposed to the conventional space. A lot of the innovation from the conventional product lines is happening with big companies, and you get a different type of innovation from larger companies that use a different decision-making model or product approval or product development model. There are some exceptions. There are some smaller brands that are now being gobbled up by larger brands where innovation was really exciting. But as soon as they become really viable, profitable, and successful, they get onto the map of the larger companies that want to acquire them. You'll see this. You'll see what's happening now is large conventional companies buying out smaller organic companies.